Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the Pactiv virtual job fair event. I would like to introduce you to Erica. Erica will tell you about her company, job openings, and how to apply for those openings. Erica?
Good afternoon, everyone. So Pactiv Evergreen is a new powerhouse within the food and beverage packaging industry, which was formed in 2020. So Pactiv's been around before that, but Pactiv and Evergreen companies both merged into a great organization. So Pactiv was the leading manufacturer of food and beverage packaging solutions in North America, and Evergreen Packaging was the global leader in paper packaging solutions to include fresh beverage cartons. So they merged together in September of 2020, and we became Pactiv Evergreen. So we are the world's largest manufacturer of food service, food merchandising, and fresh beverage cartons in North America. Across the globe, we have about 15,000 team members. 11,000 of those are Pactiv employees and 4,000 are Evergreen employees. We have more than 50 factories and warehouses in North America, 900 production lines, 13,000 different products. 65% of revenues are from sustainable products. We have 900 plus patents and trademarks, 19 different material types, 10 manufacturing platforms, and we are the industry leader in technology for food service. You can go to the next slide, please. So some of the different products that we make are some compostable containers and tableware. We do have fiber blend containers, recycled PET containers, injected molded containers. We do aluminum, paper, foam containers, beverage packaging, cutlery, aluminum wrap. So anything basically that will hold food, we do that. And then when we acquired Evergreen, they do paper products. So they have like your juice beverage containers and stuff like that. You can go to the next slide. So we are now hiring across the Pactiv organization, but specifically we're looking for forklift operators in the Romeoville and Woodridge locations. So we are offering a $500 sign-on bonus, and we have immediate full-time openings in our Romeoville facilities and our Woodridge facility. So we do have 3 different Romeoville warehouses and 1 warehouse in Woodridge. We offer many benefits. So it's from medical, dental, vision, a company paid short-term and long-term disability, a company paid life insurance, wellness credits, and a new hire wellness program bonus. We do have a 401k program as well as a match, and many more benefits. We do have a progressive compensation package. You can earn an increase after 90 days of employment if you meet our workforce skills. So we have a workforce skills program where you can progress through the different levels of a lift truck operator, or is what we call them, but forklift operator, based on your skills. And with each progression you can earn an increase. We do have weekly and monthly incentives that we are currently offering, and then a lot of advancement opportunities. So you can build a career with Pactiv Evergreen. Our starting pay for a forklift operator, a level 1, is $16.81. And depending on what shift you are, we have a $1 shift differential for second shift. And we have a $1.50 shift differential for third shift or a night shift. So there are multiple shifts available. We have 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, night rotating shifts, many different shifts to choose from. And you can go to pactiv.com/careers to apply, or we also have a text to apply option as well. Desiree, can you just jump in really quick with that text to apply number?
You know what? I was still looking for it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So, sorry about that, but so the best way to apply would be to go to pactiv.com/careers and look for our openings in Romeoville and Woodridge.
Fantastic. Thank you for that presentation, Erica. And it sounds like Desiree is going to track down that number. And as soon as she does, she will go ahead and enter that into the chat for folks that are on the call or who will be tuning in at a later date. Now we've kind of reached the Q&A portion of the event, if you will. So if you do have any questions for the Pactiv team, please feel free to enter them into the chat and we'll get those questions answered for you as soon as possible. Erica, in the meantime, while we're waiting for some folks to enter questions into the chat, I do have some just kind of generalized or standard questions I'd like to ask you, if that's okay.
No problem.
Excellent. So for any of the positions that you covered here today, do folks need to possess any sort of minimum educational requirements to apply for those?
We do not. There was a preference of a high school diploma, but it's not required.
Understood. Thank you for that. Next question that I have for you, being that it could kind of be a manufacturing or factory setting, if you will, is how is the organization kind of handling COVID safety precautions? If you could just kind of briefly give folks an idea as to what they could expect there. I know that's something that is at the forefront of a lot of folks' minds right now.
Yep, no problem. So we do have, we are, the Romeoville and Woodridge are warehouse settings. So we each, at the beginning of each shift, the shift manager, shift leader is screening the employees. So we are making sure that they are, their temperatures are taken and they are going through a questionnaire screening. Masks are required in the building, all of the common areas. The only time that they're allowed off is when they are in break room, and our break rooms are also set up where there's dividers in between each of the tables, and we are only allowing one employee per table. So mainly we are screening all of our employees each and every day at the beginning of each shift.
Understood. Thank you for that information, Erica. And Erica, another question that I have for you, excuse me, is how can a candidate stand out and get an interview, assuming they are qualified for the position in which they're applying? Is there any tips, tricks, pointers, information maybe that you would suggest folks highlight in a resume or maybe mention during an interview that might help them get a competitive edge, if you will?
So we do we have a variety of different forklifts that we use. A lot of them are transitioning to electric. So electric is not a requirement, but it is probably a plus because I know some candidates are a little bit leery about some of the electric forklifts rather than the propane. But really, we're just looking for, that kind of like warehouse experience, being able to load trailers and move product throughout the warehouse. Some of the facilities do have racking in our facility. So if racking maybe you're not comfortable with racking, there are other options where we have facilities that do not have racking. But that's a plus to being able to drive into the racking materials, racking for the product.
Understood. Thank you for that, Erica. And the next question that I have for you is, can folks expect to be paid for the time in which they're being trained? And then does your company offer any sort of like continuing education expenses for folks that might want to get some additional certifications or things of that nature?
So all training, orientation, first day orientation and training, all of their training is paid. So as soon as they become an employee, all of their time worked is paid. But we do not have any tuition reimbursement or any educational. We do a lot of on-the-job training. So we kind of progress them through the levels of the forklift operators just on the job by learning on the job tasks.
Excellent. Thank you, Erica. And Erica, another question that I do receive on a rather frequent basis is, can folks who might have, let's say, minor misdemeanor or minor infractions in their criminal, past or records, would they still be eligible for employment with Pactiv?
They will be. The only thing it cannot apply to their job. So if they have like a felon misdemeanors, we don't really recognize unless it's specific to their position. Felonies, it has to be specific to their position. So in the case of a forklift operator, like a DUI does not disqualify them from that position. It would just be, so because we're a food service product or company, if for some reason the candidate had a felony for food tampering, then they would not be selected. But other than that, majority of the candidates, there's no disqualification for misdemeanors or anything like that.
Understood. Thank you for that information, Erica. Erica, another question that I have for you that I actually do receive on a frequent basis when it comes to employers who are seeking positions for, say, manufacturing, warehousing jobs. Is there any sort of work attire that maybe is provided for folks, or would they have to expect to maybe pay for, shirts, boots, any other part of the uniform out of their own pocket?
So Pactiv, Evergreen, that we do require steel-toed shoes. That's the only requirement. Other than that, they can be casual clothing. We just do not allow hoodies. So no hoodies are allowed for safety reasons. But other than that, they can wear their regular day-to-day clothes, as long as there's nothing offensive on them. And then the only thing that we do require are steel-toed shoes.
Excellent. Thank you, Erica. Erica, the next question that I do have for you is, how can applicants get their questions answered? So if they're in the course of filling out an application for any of the positions you covered here today, they run into an issue, get snagged during the process, or they just have a general question maybe about Pactiv, what would be the best way to go about getting a question answered? Would it be to reach out to either yourself or Desiree or another individual? How or who would we channel those questions to?
Yeah, they can either go through myself or Desiree to get those questions answered. Desiree is actually the recruiter, so she can help a lot with the recruiting, probably filling out the application stuff, but I can also help with that as well. So I have, if it's more like a specific like benefits question or something related to Pactiv, that would probably be more towards me. But Desiree does a really good job. So if she's got a question, if the candidate contacts her and they have a question, if she doesn't know how to answer, she can reach out to me and I will follow up with them.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Erica. And I do want to just take a brief pause here and remind folks, if you do have questions for the Pactiv team, please don't be shy. Please enter those into the chat. We'll get those questions answered for you as soon as possible. Desiree, I do have another additional question for you as we kind of begin the wrap up, if you will. That question is, what are the opportunities for advancement at Pactiv, and are there any particular success stories maybe that you'd like to share with folks who are either on the call or who will be tuning in, just to give them an idea of what the possibilities of working for Pactiv can be?
Yeah, definitely. So I am, fairly new here, so I don't know any success stories myself, unfortunately. So Erica may be better off to answer that, but there is a lot of opportunity for growth and advancement. And we do reward our employees with hard work. So those that are, coming into work on time, that are there every day for the week that they're scheduled, we're offering an additional incentive I wanted to mention, which is $100 weekly attendance incentive that we're doing until the end of July. But like she mentioned, there's a lot of different, just like in the forklift levels, 5 different avenues that, folks can go. So once they're completing the training, they can get bumped up to, an LTO 2, 3, 4, or 5. A lot of leads do transition from like the LTO positions as well. Erica, did you have a specific success story that you wanted to share?
We have many, like within our organization, there are many supervisors or leadership that have grown throughout the organization. So we have employees that have been here for 20 plus years and they started out as a forklift operator. So they have just grown through the company, went through all the stages. So they started at, level 1 and they worked their way all the way up to a supervisor. So we have multiple employees that have grown with the company. Specifically, I mean, more recent, we've had some candidates that actually they started as a level 1, they might have worked 90 days. They went to their level 2. And there used to be a requirement to go to a level 5. You had to be with the company for 2 years. But we had people that have exceeded that and they did not meet, and we waived that 2-year requirement to go to that level 5 because they had all of the skill set and the skills and requirements for that position. So there are many, many opportunities for you to progress, and we've seen people progress very fast within our organization as well.
Awesome. Thank you both, Desiree and Erica, for your response on that. And I did see that Desiree did add the text to apply number into the chat. So for the folks that are on the call, if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, that information is accessible again in the chat section. Desiree and Erica, I want to afford you one more opportunity to kind of give a summary statement or concluding remark, maybe about today's presentation, or perhaps maybe you'd like to highlight something from your presentation, or include something that maybe you might have overlooked, just as a general takeaway for the folks who are on the call and who will be tuning in at a later date.
Just want to, so that text to apply number, just make sure you're texting PTVE. So P as in Paul, T as in Tom, V as in Victor, and E as in Erica. That would be the code that you text that number, text that code to the number 847-750-3283. So that you can text that way, text that to apply, and they can send you the list of openings or the links to apply to look for openings. Again, just want to point out that we are offering a $500 sign-on bonus. We do have immediate openings, and we are scheduling interviews daily. So if you are eligible, if you do apply and you meet up the requirements and are eligible, we are looking to fill these positions very fast.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. And thank you so much, Desiree, for your presentation today. And I just do want to reiterate, the session has been recorded and it will be uploaded to the Illinois WorkNet YouTube channel later this afternoon. Once it has been uploaded to that location, of course, you will be able to access all of the information that was covered here by Erica and Desiree today. And of course, also access that contact information as well in the course of filling out those applications if you do have any questions that you need answered. So again, I'd like to thank Erica and Desiree from Pactiv for participating today. And then of course, the job seekers who were not only on the call, but who will be tuning in at a later date and time. Thank you all for your participation. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.